Everyone thinks gas stations control what you pay at the pump. They're wrong, and here's who actually does. The person making money on your gallon of gasoline isn't the attendant behind the counter. It's not even the brand on the sign. Follow the cash upstream and you'll land at a refinery, a place most people never see, buried in industrial zones from Texas to New Jersey. And here's the trick. Refiners have engineered a pricing structure so elegant, so mathematically locked, that gas prices across entire regions move in near-perfect synchronization. That's not coincidence. That's industrial architecture. Exhibit 1. The cost of crude oil is global and volatile. A barrel of West Texas Intermediate swings $20, $30, sometimes $40 in a single quarter. But the markup, the spread between what a refiner buys crude for and what they sell finished gasoline for, that spread barely budges. Why? Because refiners operate on razor-thin margins, sometimes 5 to 15 cents per gallon. They can't absorb volatility, so they pass it through instantly. Exhibit 2. Refinery capacity is finite and fixed. A major refinery processes, say, 500,000 barrels per day. That's it. You can't build a new one overnight. Permitting alone takes years, sometimes decades. So when demand spikes, refiners don't lower prices to move inventory, they raise them. When demand falls, they throttle production rather than compete on price. The supply curve is inelastic. Prices must move to clear the market. Exhibit 3. There are only a handful of major refiners in North America. Valero, Marathon, Phillips 66, Chevron, Shell. That's not quite a monopoly, but it's close enough that each refiner watches the others obsessively. When Valero raises the wholesale price they charge distributors, Marathon knows within minutes. And they match it not because they collude, but because the economics force them to. If one refiner undercuts, they flood the market and crater margins for everyone. Here's where the money actually goes. You pay $3.50 a gallon, roughly $2.80 is the cost of crude oil. The refiner takes 10 to 15 cents as their margin. The distributor, the middleman who ships gasoline to stations, takes another 5 to 10 cents. The station owner who handles retail gets 3 to 7 cents. Taxes grab the rest. Add it up, almost nothing is left for anyone except big oil. Exhibit 4. Seasonal refinery maintenance. Every spring and fall, major refiners shut down units for repairs. That's 5 to 10% of capacity offline. Prices spike. This isn't random, it's scheduled years in advance. Refiners know it'll happen, yet they time it anyway because the profit spike during maintenance weeks often exceeds the profit they'd make running full bore at lower prices. Exhibit 5. Environmental regulations. Refineries must produce different fuel blends for different regions: summer blend, winter blend, California blend. Each blend has different production costs. But here's the trick: refiners don't absorb those costs. They pass them to consumers as a regional premium. That's not price gouging in the legal sense, it's just how the cost structure works. So why does gas price consistency feel so eerie? Because it is. Refiners have built a system where prices must move together. Crude costs more, prices rise everywhere simultaneously. Demand falls, prices drop in lockstep. There's no lag, no negotiation, no room for independent pricing. It's economic physics, not conspiracy. But the effect is the same: you have almost no leverage. The station owner, the person you actually interact with, is almost powerless. They buy gasoline from a distributor at a set wholesale price. They mark it up by a few cents. That's their entire business. If the wholesale price jumps overnight, they must raise their retail price or lose money on every gallon. They're not setting the market, they're reading it. What about independent refiners or alternative fuel sources? They exist, but they're marginal. Most independent refiners operate at even thinner margins because they lack the scale of majors. They must match prices to compete or exit the market. Alternative fuels, biofuel blends, electric, they're still a small fraction of total supply. The refinery system remains structurally dominant. The consistency you see isn't a bug in the system, it's the feature. Refiners have optimized for predictability, not competition. Lower margins mean higher volume. Higher volume means stability. That stability is worth more than the short-term profit spike of undercutting rivals. It's a long game played in basis points across decades. So the next time you notice gas prices are identical across 3 states, you're not seeing a mystery. You're seeing industrial design in action. Refiners have built an architecture that moves crude costs to consumers instantly while keeping their own margins stable. It's elegant, it's legal, and it's why the price at the pump feels locked in place. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. If you want to understand how the world's biggest industries actually make money, not what they claim, but where the cash actually flows, subscribe for the next breakdown. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.